Hey guys, it's late. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a storm tonight. I love storms. The wind's been working at the house for probably an hour now. If you listen closely, you can hear it, finding the corners. The windows are giving a little, but they're holding. I went out a little earlier, maybe 20 minutes ago, to bring the chairs in off the porch. Maybe 30 seconds, maybe less. It took everything I had to pull the door shut behind me. The lamp flickered, the one right over there. I thought the power was going to go out. But then, it's steadied. And I've been sitting here listening to it, as if I was getting ready for losing electricity and, the whole silence of it and the darkness of it. The whole house feels like it's leaning into the wind, and it feels like the wind is leaning back. And got me thinking about strength. Real strength. Not the kind of strength that you see, but real strength, strength underneath, deep strength. The difference between a thing that survives a storm and a thing that's somehow better for having been in one. That kind of strength. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because, we tend to put those in the same basket. And really, they're not the same. They're not even close. Follow me, just for 1 second. Think about this. There's a writer, and I'm sure you realize I like books. His name's Nicholas Nassim Taleb, and he spent a whole book on this concept. He noticed something really strange about language. And I love language, and I love precision. We have a word for things that break under stress. And you know what that word is? Fragile. But we also have a word for things that hold, robust, solid. But we don't really have a word for the third thing. The thing that doesn't just survive the stress, but actually feeds on the stress, gets stronger because of it. So he decided to invent a word. And that word is anti-fragile, one of my favorite words. And his image for it is the simplest thing in the world. And that's why I'm talking about this right now. The wind. That's the image. The same wind that blows a candle out is also the wind that can make a fire roar. Same wind, two opposite fates. The only difference is what you built. A candle or a growing fire. Now here's why that matters. Once you're investing in real estate, and especially handling other people's money. Almost everyone in real estate and in the world builds for robust. They hedge, they diversify, they try and de-risk. They build the thing that can take the punch and stay standing. And we call that risk management. We call that good investing. And that's not wrong, really. Robust is good. Robust keeps you in the game. Robust helps you make money in private equity and real estate as a GP. But robust still treats the storm as the enemy. Something to endure, something to get through. Because on the other side of that is fragility. Now, as an LP or investor, you don't want fragility. You want robustness, right? But for me, I want more. For me, anti-fragility is a completely different posture. It's building so that the storm actually feeds you. It's the dry powder that turns someone else's panic into your entry price. It's the position where the worst case is small and known, and the best case is large and open. As they say, when there's blood in the streets, you want to be robust or anti-fragile? You lose a little, often, and once in a while, the world breaks in your favor and pays for all of it. And here's the trap that nobody ever warns you about. It's a thing that's never had a bad quarter. It's never shown a tremor. It's never, ever given you a single bad night. We look at that and we call that strength. But sometimes it's just a quiet thing that's absorbing risk it hasn't paid for yet. It's storing up the whole bill for one day to come. So the smoothness isn't the comfort. It shouldn't be comforting you. The smoothness is actually the warning. And you know, the body, your body, knows this better than probably any other spreadsheet. There's a principle in bone. Load it the right way, and it doesn't just heal, it rebuilds itself denser, right along the line where the stress ran. If you've ever followed kickboxing, you know that that's what kickboxers do with their tibias, with their shins. It comes back, the bone that is, strongest at the place that it was tested. So we're walking around inside anti-fragile machines. But then we go to the office and we build portfolios and businesses that are essentially praying for calm, when in reality we're built for the storm. I learned this in my body way before reading any of these books here. Way before Taleb's book. I just probably didn't know it. I broke my wrist, at the age of 9 years old. Broke it here in a couple pieces, dislocated my elbow, and for I think 6 weeks, probably more, the whole arm just quit. I had a cast up to here. And by the time that cast came off, the muscle had gone somewhere. I don't know where, but it wasn't there anymore. My arm was way thinner than this arm. It was weaker. It was fragile. It looked fragile. It wasn't fragile. And the physiotherapist told me a thing that, I was 9, so I didn't believe it at first. He said to me, the bone would come back thicker than before, exactly at the places that it broke. That the break would end up the strongest part of my whole arm. And you know what? It did. I spent the next year learning that the only way back was to load the thing that hurt. And it hurt at first, but carefully, on purpose, progressively, a little more each week. Not to protect it, to stress it. And that helped me throughout my hockey career. It seemed like I always had a stronger arm on the right as I got slashed. But here's the part that I'm not really proud of. I knew all this during my teen years because I'd just broken my arm. And I spent, despite that, most of my 20s completely forgetting about this concept, about this truism, this knowledge. I was building a life with no breaks in it, trying to smooth out all the edges for myself, for my kids, for my loved ones, for my partners, hedging every corner, trying to engineer a world where nobody I loved would ever have to feel the wind. I'm sure you do the same thing. And I thought that was care. I thought that was being prudent. I thought that was being good at what I was doing. And essentially, I was building candles. I was building candles and calling that protection, calling that risk management, calling that prudent investing. So here's the question that I'd hand you tonight. Think about it. Look at the things that you're protecting. Your work, your children, your investments, your business, your properties, yourself, your partnerships, and ask honestly of each one of those, is this a candle or is this a fire, a growing fire? Because a candle, you have to shield it. You put your hand around it. You keep it out of the wind that I can hear right now in the background. That's right. And it's good. And sometimes it's love, it's performance. But a fire, ooh, that's different. A fire you've been shielding is a fire you've been slowly putting out. You're asphyxiating it. Or it's not a very strong fire to start off with. Some of what you're protecting was actually built to be fed. And the wind you keep apologizing for might be the only thing that ever would have made that fire roar, truly roar. The storm's still going out there right now. And you know what? It'll blow itself out by morning, the way every single storm always does. And you know what? My chairs will still be on the porch, my stuff will still be out there, and this house will still be standing. And the day will ask for me again if I'm ready or not. That's the arrangement. That's anti-fragility. You stand in the weather you're given. You don't try to avoid it. And you build the kind of life that's grateful for the wind. You build the kind of company that grows in the wind. You build the investments that roar with the wind and with the storm. Be anti-fragile, my friends. I'm Nikolai Ray. Thanks for sitting with me here tonight.